Wisetola video to say to no more to stay to oh my no more with you from Toksy
Hi, you're watching Wisetola Speaks To, and I'm Wisetola, and today I am speaking to Adekunle de Toksy Bello, also known as Toksy Bello. Now, he is an academic filmmaker and director, and also a Nollywood expert. Hi, Mr. Bello.
Hi, Tom.
And what exactly is it that you do? I've just given you such a long title, but what exactly is it that you do?
I was overwhelmed when you were talking, but I actually a researcher of Nollywood.
Okay.
I am currently doing a thesis, and my doctoral research is in the way of completion in Nollywood, particularly Nollywood in the diaspora, the audiences of Nollywood in the diaspora. And apart from that, I make films, and also I direct, and particularly I make institutional films, for organizations like Tate Britain, Art and Research Council, and I work in conjunction with Goldsmith, South London Gallery, and all of that. So that's what I currently, engage myself with, and I've been kind of a protagonist, if I can call it, of Nollywood in recent time. So I've been speaking on behalf of Nollywood in conferences and film festivals and exhibitions around the world.
Okay. So what exactly got you interested in Nollywood?
Well, from the beginning of my life, I noticed that while I was young, I was always interested in something creative. So I grew up fairly in Ibadan, in Nigeria, and that's where the national television started in Africa. And most of the time I dash into NTV house. Nobody took me there. My father shouldn't know I was going. And that was when I experienced people like Jimmy Sholanke, loads of them in the early days of television, that I got to know in the early 70s, late 60s and stuff. And then I went away to do marketing and advertising because there was no one to really tell me you could do it. Nobody gave me inclinations of what to do. But as the time was going, I was engaging myself with interest, reading about film and all of that, particularly because while I was growing up, there was nothing like that in Nigeria where you could say that you want to study film. But I always read magazines, newspapers, and all of that. But I didn't really engage myself in the active acting and all of that.
Oh, okay.
So, but by the time I entered the higher institution, I began to see how much I desired of film itself. So the era of Ogunde, which was a celluloid period, there was nothing to really encourage me because it seems like it was a kind of a special area that it's only people who know how to do it who dive into it. So, and then eventually, by that time I was a graduate, I became a graduate, and I still had my interest in anything to do with film. So, shortly after my graduation in the mid-80s, the Nollywood began to start, even though it wasn't Hollywood. One thing I've noticed about Nigerians is that we are very creative and very artistic.
Yeah,
Both
I agree.
the people that demonstrate and the people that watch them.
Yeah.
So there's this kind of synergy between the two. So it is so easy for anyone who creates to get audiences.
Yes.
because there's this correlative engagement between the two. So this period, it was easier for Nigerians to welcome Nollywood activities, even though there's this mediocrity in it. There was no fine-tuning paraphernalia of what we could say film industry is in Hollywood, but people are interested because it is giving them their life. Ordinary people, they could see that, so I could be on the movie, you know, I could be on the television, I could be in the movie, and that was how it started. And this period, I wasn't really doing much in this industry. I was just watching, and it had aroused a lot of greatness in me. That, I could see the future of it. So, and that time I said, okay, it's high time to go and study. So I traveled to this country to have knowledge of theory, because I believe that you need theory to really support you if you want to be very creative.
Okay.
So that could give you the sense of how music is being put in the music, and in the film, how aesthetics is being shaped, and all of that. So I went, and then I came to England and I studied film, and then I started seeing what I have in me coming out, you know, normally and so easily.
So have you always been interested in the film industry from a very young age?
I've always been interested in anything media and entertainment.
Oh, okay.
So I've always go by the history. I've always been a DJ. I've always been in the theater group. I've always been a master of ceremony. I've always been a dancer and all of that. So all this I have the templates for what I am doing today.
Oh, okay. So I currently hear you're doing a thesis and research on Nollywood, particularly in the diaspora. Explain a bit more about that.
When I was engaging in masters in creative media arts, I specialized in film, and the only film I could do courageously, and I think there's a lot of importance of research into as of that time, was Nollywood, because Western cinema has been developed.
Okay.
So there's a need for other industries to come up. So I said Nollywood, and there was not much literature on Nollywood when I was doing the program. So my thesis then was on Nigerian who live in London and their experience of Nollywood.
Okay.
And I centered this on the Yoruba community in the southeast London. So along the line, when at some point I discovered that, because I made some films, some short films, documentary, and along the line I discovered that the reason why Nigerians who are abroad love Nollywood, because you can see it in Elephant and Castle, you see it in Dalston, you see it in Kilburn, wherever, Woolwich, you see everybody going there to pick it on the stand in the public markets.
Yeah.
I just keep wondering why, and then it was discovered that people love them because it reminds them of homes, it reminds them of themselves. It caused nostalgia feelings, you know, of the past through their parents. Some of Nigerian British who have never been to Nigeria, they still have this sense of cultural memory of through their lineage, you know, their parental lineage. And I said, okay, there's a need to do more into this. So that was one of the things that really encouraged me to go for doctoral research as well, which is very great so far. So, and that is still ongoing.
Okay, it's an ongoing thesis then.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. I noticed that, like you said, you know, people tend to go and pick it up in the local market, and I noticed that there is a very big market when it comes to Nollywood movies. You see it absolutely almost everywhere you go. So it shows that there is an interest, and then there are the channels that you can get to watch the Nollywood movies. And I find that it's not only Nigerians or the African community that are actually interested in Nollywood. You find the West Indian community are picking it up now, and you know a lot of people are actually finding Nollywood a very entertaining and interesting industry. You know, so they are tapping into it. Now, with the growth of the Nollywood industry, what are some of the things that you have seen that could be improved on, or some of the things that you have seen that you would like to see changed?
like I said, I have my formative stage in academics, in advertising and marketing. And for every good product that wants to turn into branding, you have to be it has to be well made.
Yes.
And it has to be a resounding product, something that people keep talking about, not because they like it, but because it is good. And Nollywood has been developed to a stage where it needs expertise. It is no more in the mediocrity hands.
Yeah.
It is not. I always agitate on something that the people who took Nollywood to where it is today are ordinary people. They are people who, by sheer of courage and determination, maybe they are interested in money, maybe they are interested in developing culture, maybe they are interested in anything. But they have been able to take it to a level where it is now in the hands of the majority. Yeah. And for it to establish its position, it has to be well managed and careful. So that is why I would want to say that as of now, we need to start making sure that all the products come out of Nollywood is well shapen, and people should not be so. They shouldn't withdraw themselves from criticisms. Yeah. They should allow critique, because there's no industry or no human being that can survive, that can grow without being criticized. So this is the area that we really have to work on, because to get good production quality, to be able to have good storylines, to be able to know what is going on in the film world, which is the global cinema. We have to be very attentive and listen carefully, and then, try to raise the standard, and then we start seeing the distributional channels begin to expand, and that is the only way that we would be able to say that this is an industry.
Hi, I'm Princess. Keep watching Fusion Plus.
There have been in recent times some new flicks, that are really traveling around the world through London, and one of these flick is a figurine that was released about a year ago. I think it was released towards the end of 2009.
Okay. And
that production was something I was very proud of, and I'm still very proud of it anyway, because there was a lot of things were put into consideration why this film was made, and one of it was the producer carefully, the production team carefully look into the story, and then they make sure that the cinematography of the film is so correlated with the storyline. There are times that there's a good production, but the storyline is weak. There are times that the storyline is very good, but there's no good production quality. So all these areas were well taken care of. I'm not saying it was perfect, but I mean, it's something that we can comfortably say Nollywood flick, oh, that's good. And some others are also there, like EJ, like Hunting, the current one that Lancelot, premiered about 3 weeks ago. Okay. Yeah. So they are those, and also Busting Out that was produced recently, which was starred by Genevieve Danaji. All these films they are kind of a production that we are proud of in Hollywood today. It's not only because they've been premiered in London, but because they were doing well in the market as well. For instance, EJ did well in Nigeria. In this that last year it was the second best film, including when it was rated amongst the best, including American Hollywood films. Okay. So which was in Lesotho never been. But today we can be comfortably talk about it. And I think Mirrorboy will be premiered in this country on the 24th of February. That's another one to watch out for. I've seen the trailer and I know that people will be, they'll have a good day, watching it when it comes to the
So I take it the production and everything on that one is.
I think it's something to be proud of.
Okay, very good, very good. Now I hear that you are going commercialized.
Yeah, I believe that that's the only way you could test your market. If you do, I've been doing institutional production, which were being funded by institutions. So for you to really know how the audiences appreciate it, will be if they pay for it.
Yeah.
So and I'm going to be making my own film, my first feature film, Trojan.
Okay.
A lot of people ask me why Trojan. Because Trojan has to do with Greek or something. I said, well, Trojan has been accepted to be used as a courageous personality, somebody who has strength and drive to do things. So it doesn't really mean it's Greek, But then if people say Greek, fine, but story is story. So the most important thing is that when you are telling story on the screen to the public, they should enjoy it and bring sense out of it. So we're working on that script now, and we're hoping that it's going to be rivaling with Oscar products and Cannes products as well.
Okay. Is it going to be a Nollywood?
It is Nollywood.
Oh, okay.
I am Nollywood. Anything I do is Nollywood. And
Trojan comes to Nollywood.
Well, why not?
Yeah. So when can we expect to see your?
We were hoping to go to location end of this year.
Okay.
Hopefully, stroke next year early. And then we should be looking forward to this time next year or probably anytime next year.
Okay, look forward to that. Look forward to that. So now, I've heard it said, and I think I actually even saw you on that interview where it said that Nollywood is the second largest entertainment industry after Bollywood. Where do you stand on that?
What do you think? We are in Nollywood together.
But you're the Nollywood expert.
So if I want to talk about that, I think my reservation is I'm not even interested in whether it's the second largest, but I'm interested in the traveling he's making. He's really traveling, and he's been known everywhere. When I was interviewed on BBC, I was telling Zenobadai that, do you know about it? So yes, of course. Fine. So that means he's doing well. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, people talk about it in a grotesque manner. But today, whoever want to talk about it in a grotesque manner will be careful. Because the last time when we went to BFR at Waterloo to screen some of Nigerian new flicks, we have a diverse audience. People from all over the world. You could see Asians there, you could see English, you could see Americans. All of us were sitting together at inside PFI Hall. Well over 400 people, and that means it's something different. It has never happened before. They were not watching it because they just want to watch it, but because they're interested in the story, they're interested in the way they were made. So, and I think this is just the beginning. And it is really, really, really going to travel well, very well. And I think if we're going to look at how many numbers of Nollywood being made in a week, it's only Bollywood that is doing that. So Hollywood does not do it. So if you want to say that it's the largest, well, in that form.
Why not? So where can we expect to see Toksy Bello in the next 5 years? Or what can we expect from Toksy Bello in the next 5 years?
Well, I just want to see Nollywood traveling. And I want to be part of that. And I'm happy I'm part of that. Because it's been a baby I've nurtured. It's been something that I've nurtured me. So I'm kind of entwined with this culture, this genre of filmmaking, Nollywood. And I am trying to be part of people developing literature for it, because from the literature is how the younger ones can enter into the industry and see the templates to live on, to build on. And this area, I want to be teaching young ones theory of Nollywood.
Okay.
And also make films that will encourage them to see that they can take over the global cinema in no distant time.
Okay.
We're going to be trying to lay the baton in their hands and see how they can phantom something special beyond Hollywood.
Hey, this is Kemi Sebastian. You're watching Fusion Plus TV. Keep it locked.
I usually tell people that Hollywood didn't just get to where it is today. There have been some industry before Hollywood. The French waves and the German Frankfurt Film School, they usually see supremacy before some of them migrated to America. Shot during the Second World War, and today they don't have any strength to condemn Hollywood anymore, because Hollywood might be commercialized, but that's what the world wants. The majority of the people who watch Hollywood today, they don't even know if there are some better filmmakers beyond Hollywood. So all this tendency is that Nollywood can travel far beyond Hollywood. Last time I mentioned that on BBC, I'm not too sure if a lot of people would want to know why I said if Hollywood slows down, then Nollywood will take over. And I'm still standing on that too. So, you see, in one word, seeing Toksy Bello in 5 years, well, maybe rubbing shoulder with Hollywood filmmakers and then they coming to him for advices.
Okay. That sounds great. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I'm sure anyone interested in getting in contact with you, you are on Facebook as Toksy Bello.
Yes, yes. Toksy Bello, yes.
Okay.
On Facebook.
Okay.
That's where my closest office.
Okay.
If you come on Facebook to Toksy Bello, we can have a chat.
And there you have it. Nollywood expert Toksy Bello. You can find him on Facebook. And thank you for joining me today.